Full disclosure, when I started Morningwood, Everybody Loves Large Chests, I assumed it was some sort of lit RPG smut novel. When I realised it wasn't, I was somehow both relieved and disappointed. The disappointment didn't last long because, turns out, I love Everybody Loves Large Chests. Morningwood. I mean, the title alone makes me chuckle. Let's do this.
No fluff writing advice. Cut the fluff!
Everybody Loves Large Chests caught me off guard. I've developed a habit, not sure if it's good or bad, of not reading the blurb whenever someone recommends a book. So I went into this totally blind. I mean, aside from seeing the two large chests on the front cover. Do you see why I thought I was getting smut? After actually reading the blurb, I realise it wouldn't have helped anyway, and it completely changes what I thought I could say in this review to avoid dropping spoilers. I can't even talk about the large chest. Alright, we'll make it work. Let's discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly of Morningwood. Everybody loves large chests. Watch me dig deep into the metaphorical chest to even find anything bad or ugly to say about this book. It genuinely surprised me in so many ways, good ways. But nothing's perfect. Even the best chest in the world has flaws. Firstly, the opening draws you in straight away. Even if you do read the blurb, you think you're getting one thing, but you get another. It's like you're being served what looks like a standard steak, cooked how you like it, but when you bite in, you realize it's not beef. It's the meat of some exotic and extra delicious animal, a zebra perhaps, and now you can't help but devour it without even chewing. You're just cramming it down your gullet like an absolute glutton, and now your plate's empty and you want more, and to your delight, you see that the chef has prepared several more and he wheels them out, and even though you're already stuffed to the nostrils, you can't help but ogle that pile of zebra steak with hungry eyes. That was my experience anyway. Even though you get the typical lit RPG opening where it's all tutorial-ish, is that even a word? It is now. It's typical in the sense that the main character is figuring stuff out, slowly leveling, quite slowly in fact, and learning new skills. But it's so compelling due to the nature of the protagonist. It doesn't feel tedious. That could be partly due to me acclimatizing to the genre. I'm starting to have an easier time with some of the more jarring tropes, including the leveling and the spewing of endless stats. Literary Stockholm Syndrome, perhaps. Either way, the opening chapters yanked me in immediately. Like a. No, that's a spoiler. Moving on. The author, Neven Iliev, does a great job of maintaining tension throughout the story. The Flesh Maiden fight scene is particularly tense and well written. Neven nails it. The tension is extra impressive because it's somewhat hard to genuinely care about the protagonist on a truly emotional level, but you still want them to succeed, even if just to see what they're capable of. I care if you die. Why? Because I want to see you do cool shit. Oh, okay. For this particular protagonist, the leveling process has a whole other dimension. You're not just seeing someone get stronger or more skill loaded, you're seeing them literally evolve in real time. And outside of leveling, every moment feels like a lesson for the protagonist, especially in the beginning. Every action matters. It's great storytelling. It's compelling to read or ear read. Speaking of ear reading, obligatory shout out to Jeff Hayes' mind blowing narration. I never thought I'd ever become a fan of a voice actor, but damn, I could listen to him narrate a grocery list, a boring grocery list, with nothing good on it. Everybody Loves Large Chests also solves a massive issue I have with lit RPG, the walls of stats and skills and whatever other noise authors feel obligated to slap us with. In this book, the walls of info are usually dumped at the ends of chapters with a suggestion to skip them. Such a simple solution. Why isn't everybody doing this? I just got hit with a stat wall listening to The Primal Hunter, which I'm thoroughly enjoying by the way, and I couldn't help but think back fondly to my times listening to Large Chests when I'd enthusiastically hit skip whenever the stat spate started. Humour, plenty of it, some great lines in there. I also like the way the author uses the omniscient viewpoint. Usually not a huge fan of omniscient narration unless it's absolutely necessary, but Iliev makes it entertaining. I'm paraphrasing here, but the narrator will say things like, if the character wasn't a total dumbass, it would have noticed the thing. I find that amusing. I appreciate that sort of narration. Overall, the concept behind Everybody Loves Big Boxes, same but different, is brilliant. I don't know if this is a common approach in the genre, but to me, it's super creative. Totally flips your expectations. Just like I'm about to flip this review. Here we go. All right, let's discuss the bad bits of Everybody Loves. Let's just call it Morningwood from here on in. Yeah, I really do have to dig deep into the chest to find anything bad to say about this book. After my somewhat negative review of He Who Fights with Monsters, it's kind of nice. Okay, one aspect of the story I'm not so sold on is the unkillable characters that become the protagonist's companions. The characters themselves are brilliant. That's part of the problem. You want them to stick around. So knowing they can't die negates some of the tension. I'm personally not a fan of unkillable characters or stories where killable characters can just keep getting resurrected, looking at you supernatural. When a story does involve a lot of physical conflict, I want the stakes to be real, and they are for the protagonist, but I want them to be real for everyone. It's only fair. Another slight gripe is the over explaining or over narrating in some parts. This character did this for this specific reason. Just thought you should know. Look, it's not too over the top, but I don't like being spoon fed every morsel of semi relevant info. I'm talking about the stuff you could figure out for yourself just by thinking about what you're reading. At times, the balance between subtext and spoon feeding feels a little off, but hey, I swallowed every mouthful and barely complained. One last minor complaint. By the end of the book, I expected to have a clearer picture of the wider world, but the big picture world building is minimal. It makes sense in the beginning because the protagonist doesn't know anything, but we never really get a proper understanding of the world we've been dropped into. With that said, I would bet my biggest, bestest chest that changes as the series progresses, so there's something to look forward to. Anything ugly to say about Morningwood? Not really. But, like I said, I thought I was getting lit RPG erotica, and instead I got catfished into reading a brilliant book. Well played. If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe. If you didn't enjoy this video, hit subscribe anyway, and hate watch my content. That's always fun.